Top 10 drinks to restore leg circulation after 60. Let me ask you something uncomfortable. When was the last time your feet felt genuinely warm? Not just covered by socks, actually warm from the inside. When did you last walk from one end of your house to the other without that heavy, aching feeling in your legs? If you're struggling to answer that, I want you to stay with me for the next 30 minutes, because what I'm going to share with you is grounded in real published research, and it could genuinely change how your legs feel within weeks. Here's what's actually happening inside your blood vessels after 60, and I want to be honest with you about the science. No exaggeration, no miracle claims. As we age, the inner lining of our blood vessels, called the endothelium, gradually loses its ability to produce a molecule called nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is what keeps your arteries relaxed and open. Without enough of it, your vessels become stiffer, narrower, and less responsive. Blood has a harder time reaching your legs, your feet, your fingers. This isn't a fringe theory. It's documented across hundreds of peer-reviewed studies. A landmark paper published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology by Celery et al. Showed that endothelial function, the measure of how well your vessels produce nitric oxide, declines measurably with age, and that this decline is a key driver of cardiovascular risk and poor peripheral circulation. Now here's the important part. This decline is real, but it is not inevitable, and it is not irreversible. Certain foods, particularly those rich in dietary nitrates, flavonoids, and specific amino acids, have been shown in clinical research to restore nitric oxide production and improve blood flow in older adults. Not overnight, not through magic, through basic, well-understood biochemistry. Today I'm going to rank 10 drinks from least to most effective for leg circulation specifically. I'll tell you the real science behind each one, how to use them correctly, and where they fall short. I'll also tell you who should be careful with each one, because some of these have genuine interactions with medications. This is not medical advice. I'm not your doctor, and you should always loop your physician in on changes like these. But the research I'm going to walk you through is real, and you deserve to know it. Let's start at number 10 and work our way up. Drink number 10, regular water. Score, 2 out of 10. Essential foundation, not a solution. I'm starting here because I want to be honest with you. Most lists skip this because it's boring. But understanding why water alone isn't enough helps you understand why the other drinks on this list work. Water is non-negotiable. When you're even mildly dehydrated, your blood becomes more viscous, thicker, stickier, and your heart has to work harder to push it through narrowing vessels. A study published in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that even mild dehydration of around 2% body weight loss impaired cardiovascular function and reduced peripheral blood flow. So drink your water. 8 glasses a day, more if you're active or it's hot. If your urine is dark yellow, you're not drinking enough. But here's the honest limitation. Water doesn't contain nitrates. It doesn't trigger vasodilation. It doesn't repair your endothelium. It maintains baseline function. Think of it as keeping the pipes from rusting further rather than actually widening them. How to use it? 8 8-ounce glasses daily. Add a slice of lemon if plain water is hard to get down. Lemon adds a small amount of polyphenols which have mild vascular benefits. Who needs to be careful? People with kidney disease or heart failure may have fluid restrictions. Always follow your doctor's guidance on water intake. Score, 2 out of 10. Necessary, just not sufficient. Drink number 9, green tea. Score, 3 out of 10. Modest long-term benefit, not a circulation specialist. Green tea has legitimate health benefits, and I don't want to dismiss it entirely. But for leg circulation specifically, it's not a heavy hitter. The active compounds in green tea are called catechins, particularly one called EGCG, epigallocatechin gallate. These catechins improve what's called flow-mediated dilation, which is essentially a measure of how well your arteries expand in response to increased blood flow, a direct indicator of endothelial health. A meta-analysis published in the European Journal of Nutrition in 2018 reviewed 15 randomized controlled trials and found that green tea consumption improved flow-mediated dilation by an average of about 1.4 percentage points. That's real but modest, and importantly, the effect required consistent daily consumption for 8 to 12 weeks to become meaningful. There's another nuance worth understanding. Green tea contains caffeine, and caffeine is a vasoconstrictor in some people, meaning it can actually cause blood vessels to tighten. Whether this happens depends on your individual caffeine sensitivity and tolerance. If you're a heavy coffee drinker, your body may be desensitized to this effect. If you're caffeine sensitive, green tea may partially work against itself for circulation purposes. How to use it correctly. Brew at 170 degrees Fahrenheit, not boiling. Boiling water degrades the catechins significantly. Steep for 2 to 3 minutes. Drink 2 to 3 cups daily, consistently, for at least 8 weeks before expecting results. Who needs to be careful? Green tea interacts with warfarin, blood thinner, and can affect iron absorption. If you're on blood thinners or have anemia, check with your doctor before drinking it regularly. Score: 3 out of 10. Good for overall health, too slow and too modest for circulation as a primary strategy. Drink number 8, tart cherry juice. Score: 4 out of 10. Real benefits undermined by sugar content. Now we're getting into drinks that have more specific vascular research behind them. Tart cherries, specifically Montmorency cherries, are rich in anthocyanins, a class of flavonoids that have been shown to reduce arterial stiffness and inflammation in blood vessel walls. When vessel walls are inflamed, they lose flexibility. Stiff vessels mean higher blood pressure and reduced blood flow to the extremities. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition by Keene et al. Found that older adults who consumed tart cherry juice daily for 12 weeks showed an 18% improvement in blood flow measurements and significant reductions in systolic blood pressure. That's meaningful. Anthocyanins also appear to protect nitric oxide from oxidative degradation, essentially helping the nitric oxide you do produce last longer before it breaks down. So why is it only number 8? Sugar. 1 cup of commercial tart cherry juice contains approximately 26 to 32 grams of sugar, equivalent to nearly a full can of soda. For someone over 60, where insulin sensitivity is often already reduced, that sugar spike causes a cascade that can temporarily impair circulation. Your body diverts resources to managing blood glucose. Inflammation rises. The very problem you're trying to solve gets briefly worse before it gets better. Additionally, the 12-week timeline means you're making a significant commitment before seeing results. And quality tart cherry juice, the real Montmorency variety, not cherry-flavored sugar water, costs around $8 to $12 per bottle. How to use it correctly. If you're going to use it, dilute it. 1 part juice to 3 parts water. Drink in the morning, not at night, to minimize blood sugar disruption during sleep. Look for 100% Montmorency cherry juice with no added sugar. Who needs to be careful? Anyone with diabetes, pre-diabetes, or insulin resistance should approach this cautiously and monitor blood glucose. Also note that cherry products can interact with certain NSAIDs. Score: 4 out of 10. Real science, real results. The sugar problem is real too. Drink number 7, pomegranate juice. Score: 5 out of 10. More powerful than cherry, same sugar problem. Pomegranate juice is genuinely interesting from a vascular science perspective, and it deserves more serious attention than it usually gets. The active compounds in pomegranates are called punicalagins. unique polyphenols found almost nowhere else in the plant world. These compounds do something particularly valuable. They don't just stimulate nitric oxide production, they protect existing nitric oxide from being destroyed by free radicals. This is called antioxidant preservation of nitric oxide bioavailability, and it's a distinct mechanism from most other drinks on this list. The research here is stronger than most people realize. A study by Aviram et al., published in Clinical Nutrition, followed patients with carotid artery stenosis, significant arterial narrowing, who drank pomegranate juice daily for 1 year. They found a 30% reduction in arterial plaque, significant improvements in blood flow, and reductions in oxidative stress markers. That's a serious result. A separate study in the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry found that pomegranate juice improved blood flow by approximately 22% in older adults after just 4 weeks, faster than tart cherry. So why isn't it higher? The sugar content is actually slightly worse than cherry juice, around 32 grams per cup. And pure, quality pomegranate juice, the kind without added sugar or cheap fillers, costs $12 to $18 per bottle. For a daily habit, that's $50 to $70 a month, which is a real barrier for most people. There are also early data suggesting very high pomegranate consumption may interact with certain cholesterol medications similarly to grapefruit. The research on this is not conclusive, but it's worth flagging. How to use it correctly? Buy 100% pure pomegranate juice, no added sugar. Dilute 1 part juice to 2 parts water. 4 ounces of pure juice per day is sufficient. You don't need a full glass. Morning consumption is best. Who needs to be careful? If you're on statins or blood pressure medication, flag this with your doctor before starting a daily pomegranate habit. Diabetics should monitor glucose carefully. Score: 5 out of 10. Legitimately powerful vascular medicine. The cost and sugar make it impractical as a daily driver.